Right now, markets are not rational. They are reactive. AI will destroy everything. AI will save everything. Tech is obsolete. Tech is invincible. But beneath the noise, there is a signal. This is not just volatility. This is macro-fragility meeting exponential acceleration. And when two powerful forces collide, the shock waves spread everywhere. A macro blog post suggested AI could replace white-collar jobs. Within 48 hours, $52 billion wiped from cybersecurity stocks. The Dow drops 800 points in a single session. Not earnings, not guidance, narrative. This wasn't a technical correction. It was psychological fragility. Markets are desperate for clarity, and when clarity disappears, capital panics. 1 week, AI writes legacy code. Market dumps traditional tech. Next week, AI partners with major banks. Market rallies. Same technology, opposite reactions. This is the paradox. The market cannot price a future that flips daily. Investors are oscillating between obsolescence and integration, and that oscillation creates instability. Historically, technology doubled every 2 years. Now, AI capabilities are doubling in roughly 4 months. Traditional valuation models assume predictable growth. But when progress accelerates this fast, forecast visibility collapses. And when visibility collapses, investors retreat to certainty. This creates what's called fat tail risk. Low probability, high impact. And markets hate that. When the future becomes uncertain, capital rotates. Heavy asset, low obsolescence, data centers, power grids, mining, infrastructure. Why? Because AI can replicate software instantly, but it cannot replicate physical constraints. You can duplicate code in seconds. You cannot duplicate electricity. Institutional capital understands this. That's why physical backbone assets are quietly strengthening. While the world watches AI, the economy is flashing red. Yield curve inversion, commercial real estate stress, consumer debt pressure, corporate earnings fragility, banking system strain, geopolitical fire. As Jamie Dimon said, this is not a drill. These are not caution signals. These are structural fractures, and they are happening simultaneously. The yield curve has been inverted longer than before 1929, longer than before 2001, longer than before 2008. Historically, recession hits 12 to 18 months after inversion begins. We are beyond that window. The longer the inversion persists, the sharper the eventual snapback. This is the most reliable recession predictor in modern history. And it's flashing red. Commercial loans were issued near zero interest rates. Now they must refinance 4 to 5% higher. $2.5 trillion comes due in the next 3 years. JP Morgan estimates 30 to 40% of properties cannot support new payments. Vacancy rates in some sectors approach 60%. This isn't a housing crisis. It's a balance sheet crisis. Consumer spending drives 70% of U.S. GDP. Credit card debt is at record highs. Average interest rates near 20%. Delinquencies rising. This is not 2008. This is cost of living fatigue. Consumers are making minimum payments. If spending slows, growth slows. If growth slows, earnings compress. $3 trillion spent on buybacks in 5 years. Buybacks reduce share count. Reducing share count inflates earnings per share. But net income hasn't grown proportionally. Margins are maintained by layoffs, cutting R&D, deferred maintenance, short-term stock support. Long-term fragility. This is financial engineering, not resilience. Regional banks sit on massive unrealized bond losses. They're exposed to commercial real estate. Meanwhile, supply chains fracture. Energy markets destabilize. Regional conflicts expand. The Fed faces a trap. Higher rates fight inflation. Lower rates prevent recession. It cannot do both simultaneously. That's structural tension. Real estate declines. Banks absorb losses. Credit tightens. Consumers lose access to capital. Spending drops. Earnings fall. Layoffs increase. And the loop reinforces itself. This is not fear. This is feedback mechanics. And feedback loops don't unwind gently. This is not the time to be a hero. Avoid excessive leverage. Avoid fragile balance sheets. Avoid sectors dependent on cheap credit. Capital preservation is better than growth. Short-term treasuries, gold, cash, healthcare, utilities, consumer staples. Defensive positioning is not pessimism, but here's where it gets interesting. Chaos creates mispricing. Capital is rotating globally. Europe's heavy industry is outperforming. Japan is breaking structural ceilings. India continues long-term expansion. Precious metals and energy act as geopolitical hedges. When volatility rises, opportunity increases. Ignore viral noise. Respect structural signals. Trust process. Maintain liquidity. Volatility is not the enemy. It is the price of admission. Opportunities exist in the storm, but they require precision, not emotion. The market is not broken. It is repricing risk. And if you understand the signals, you don't panic. You position. This is Global Finance Hub. If you value macro clarity over hype, subscribe. Because in chaotic cycles, information is leverage. I'll see you in the next briefing.